The Earth offered a subtle yet firm reminder of its restless nature on Friday, May 30th, 2025. At precisely 3:11 p.m. Eastern Time, a tremor rippled through the city of Concord, California. This was not a catastrophic event, not the kind that flattens cities or reshapes coastlines in an instant. Instead, it was a relatively modest shudder, registering a 3.2 on the Richter magnitude scale. For the more than 120,000 residents of Concord, situated about 25 miles northeast of the bustling metropolis of San Francisco, it was a familiar, if unwelcome, sensation. This particular seismic sigh, however, did not arrive in isolation. It was, in fact, the fourth such minor earthquake to grace Concord within the preceding 24 hours. The earlier tremors had been even weaker, barely perceptible to many, yet they formed a sequence, a faint drumbeat from deep within the planet. Thankfully, the immediate aftermath was one of relief rather than ruin. Official reports quickly confirmed no significant injuries or structural damage, allowing a collective, albeit tentative, exhale across the community. Despite its minor scale, the Concord quake served as a potent psychological nudge. The city of Concord, shaken by its recent series of minor tremors, sits uncomfortably close to a significant geological feature, the Hayward Fault. This fault is a major branch of the San Andreas Fault System, a 74-mile-long fracture that slices diagonally along the western base of the East Bay Hills. Concord itself lies merely 5 miles from this sleeping giant, a proximity that transforms minor rumbles into more serious portents of what might be stirring just beneath the surface of everyday life. The Hayward Fault is not just a line on a map, it is a physical manifestation of the immense tectonic forces shaping California. Parts of the fault are known to creep, moving slowly and continuously, releasing stress in small, often imperceptible increments. However, other segments are locked, meaning they are stuck and strain is building up. It is these locked sections that worry seismologists the most, as they have the potential to rupture suddenly and violently, generating powerful earthquakes that can affect the entire Bay Area. Today, this ancient geological feature runs directly beneath critical infrastructure. Homes, schools, hospitals, businesses, and the lifelines of transportation, water, and power that support millions of people. The recent activity near Concord only serves to sharpen the focus on this long, dangerous scar. To understand the threat posed by the Hayward Fault today, we must look back to its last significant performance. On October 21, 1868, the fault ruptured violently. This magnitude 6.8 earthquake was known as the Great San Francisco Earthquake until 1906. The quake caused widespread damage in the Bay Area, previewing the fault's destructive capabilities. Buildings in San Francisco suffered greatly, and East Bay communities were severely shaken. Brick buildings collapsed, fissures opened in the ground, and the earth undulated like waves. In Hayward, almost every building was damaged or destroyed. The ground shaking was intense, toppling chimneys, cracking walls, and sending people fleeing into the streets. Even in San Francisco, the effects were dramatic. The economic toll was significant, and the psychological impact was profound. The echoes of 1868 serve as a solemn warning against complacency. Scientists, particularly those at the University of California, Berkeley, who live and work practically on top of the fault, have delved deep into the Hayward's past. By studying trench exposures where layers of sediment reveal ancient earthquake ruptures, and by analyzing historical records, they have pieced together a rough timetable of its major seismic events. Their research suggests that the Hayward Fault has a recurring pattern, producing a major earthquake approximately every 140 years, give or take a few decades. This average recurrence interval is a critical piece of information in assessing the current hazard. If we take the last major earthquake on the Hayward Fault, the 1868 event, and add the average recurrence interval of 140 years, we arrive at the year 2008. This simple calculation suggests that, statistically speaking, the Hayward Fault entered its window of high probability for another major rupture around that time. As of 2025, it has been 157 years since that last significant quake. The concept of an overdue earthquake can be unsettling. The question is not if, but when and how large the release will be. Section 5. A region on edge. The weight of an overdue earthquake. The knowledge that the Hayward Fault is significantly overdue for a major seismic event casts a long shadow over the San Francisco Bay Area. It has been 157 years since the 1868 earthquake, placing the region well within and arguably beyond the average 140-year recurrence interval identified by scientists. The U.S. Geological Survey has amplified these concerns, issuing warnings that a massive seismic event, potentially originating from the Hayward Fault, could strike the Bay Area by the year 2032. While the San Andreas Fault, an 800-mile behemoth, often captures the public imagination as California's primary earthquake villain, researchers now view the Hayward Fault with particular trepidation. Its location is a key factor. The Hayward Fault runs directly through some of the most densely populated and economically vital parts of the Bay Area. Unlike more remote sections of the San Andreas, a major rupture on the Hayward would occur directly beneath urban centers, maximizing its destructive potential. The overdue status of the Hayward Fault creates a unique psychological burden for the residents of the East Bay and the wider Bay Area. The recent tremors in Concord, though minor, are sharp reminders that the earth beneath is not static. Section 6. Envisioning the Big One, a future shrouded in uncertainty. The Big One on the Hayward Fault could be a magnitude 7.0 or greater earthquake. It would release catastrophic energy, surpassing the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. Shaking would be so violent, standing would be difficult. The ground would heave and lurch, causing structural failures. Intense shaking would lead to widespread damage. Older buildings, especially unreinforced masonry and soft-story structures, are vulnerable. Liquefaction would threaten areas with water-saturated soils. The effects of a major Hayward Fault rupture would be devastating. Northern California's economic heart would suffer unprecedented damage. Section 7. The Haywired Scenario, charting the potential devastation. To move beyond general anxieties and provide a more concrete understanding of a major Hayward Fault earthquake, the U.S. Geological Survey, or USGS, developed a detailed disaster simulation known as the Haywired Scenario. This comprehensive study, released in 2018, models the potential impacts of a hypothetical magnitude 7.0 earthquake rupturing the Hayward Fault from Oakland in the north to Fremont in the south. The scenario is not a prediction of when an earthquake will occur, but rather a scientifically informed projection of what could happen when it does, designed to guide preparedness and mitigation efforts. The Haywired Scenario paints a stark picture. It projects that such an earthquake could result in between 800 and 2,500 deaths, primarily in the major Bay Area cities of San Francisco and Oakland, due to building collapses and subsequent fires. Tens of thousands more could be injured. The scenario estimates that hundreds of thousands of people would be displaced from their homes, either because their residences are destroyed or rendered uninhabitable. Beyond the immediate human tragedy, the Haywired Scenario details the extensive damage to infrastructure. The purpose of the Haywired Scenario is not to induce panic, but to foster a realistic understanding of the risk and to galvanize action. Section 8. California's quake web, more than just one fault line. While the Hayward Fault currently commands significant attention due to its overdue status and proximity to dense urban areas, it is crucial to remember that it is but one thread in California's complex web of seismic hazards. The state is transected by hundreds of active faults, all part of the dynamic boundary between the Pacific and North American tectonic plates. The most famous of these, the 800-mile-long San Andreas Fault, remains a primary concern for its potential to generate truly colossal earthquakes, far larger than what the Hayward Fault is typically thought capable of producing on its own. Recent seismic activity across California underscores this broader tectonic restlessness. For instance, on May 26, 2025, a series of earthquakes rumbled in the ocean off the coast of Northern California near Humboldt County. The largest of these registered a magnitude of 4.6 and was felt by coastal communities, though thankfully it caused no reported injuries or damage. These events, though relatively small and geographically dispersed, serve as constant reminders that the entire state is, in essence, earthquake country. Living in California means coexisting with this ever-present geological dynamism, a direct consequence of its position on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a zone of intense volcanic and seismic activity encircling the Pacific Ocean. Section 9. Living with the fault's preparedness in the face of inevitability. A major earthquake on the Hayward Fault is inevitable, necessitating preparedness and resilience. While we can't prevent earthquakes, we can mitigate their impact through proactive measures. Every household should have an emergency kit with water, food, first aid supplies, and a portable radio. Securing your home is critical. Strap water heaters, bookcases, and heavy furniture to walls. Identify safe spots and practice drop, cover, and hold-on drills. Develop an emergency plan with a contact person and meeting place. Know how to shut off gas and water mains to prevent fires or flooding. The recent tremor in Concord is a call to action. Invest